This looks like any house in any neighborhood, but it actually has a very unique connection to Katrina. Let's go inside and check it out. This is the Flooded House Museum here in Gentilly, Louisiana. And inside here we find H.J. Bosworth Jr. with levees.org. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
Nice to meet you.
What do people say, H.J., when they come in here or look through the windows for the first time?
It's wow. That's what it looked like. Wow. That's what would happen to my living room if 7, 8 feet of water were to flow in from the cracks and crevices of the doors and windows around my place. It's shocking.
Why is it important for people to see this? Because thankfully, most people will never experience this in their lives.
It's important to understand that, to engineer is human, and construction can go wrong, and calculations can be bad, and people make mistakes. And when you're counting on a flood protection system, which we did 20 years ago, this was a shock to almost all engineers around here. We didn't think that the flood protection system was going to fail. We thought, well, we'll have a lot of water and, it'll overtop the levees. Well, that's not what happened here.
What is the goal with showing people this?
Our intent was to recreate what has been torn out of hundreds of thousands of homes here in New Orleans. The water lines, the destruction, the mold, the mildew, the roof leaks, the roof damage, all of what happened here to sort of freeze it in time.
We're now behind the Flooded House Museum up on the levee, and we're talking to neighbors here, including Sydney St. Martin, who lives just a few houses down. Sydney, show us along the levee here where it initially breached during Katrina.
So the levee breached in this section here. I think a lot of people saw on the news the house that was in the middle of the street. It was pushed off by the force of the water that came through.
What is the importance of having a museum like the Flooded House Museum?
I love the idea that now we have busloads of tourists that come in. A lot of people are just curious to see what happened. It's not something that's easily forgotten by the people that live here in the neighborhood, but it doesn't stay in the front of everybody's minds.
Does it ever cross your mind again that maybe another storm would be more powerful and make this all happen again?
Every hurricane season is stressful. When you leave, you feel like you'll never come back, but you're just afraid to leave. Now, older, a little wiser, I'm leaving.